Hey, I'm Blake.
And I'm Dave.
Oh, we're back, surprisingly, for another weekly movie stream. Wow.
It's crazy. I don't know how we keep doing it.
I don't know, understand. I'm
Oh,
here.
sorry. I don't know why we keep doing it. My bad.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Starting strong. So Dave, how's it going, man? How's your week been?
It's all right.
Good stuff then. Is what I'm-
Wonderful poster-related things, none of which make me want to pull my hair out.
Great. This is great. None of this is scary at all, and I'm definitely not concerned for you.
Good, you shouldn't be. I'm great.
Yeah, everything's fine. Anyway. No, so hey, so how actually has your week been?
It's not been that great, honestly. But you know what? I'm gonna do that thing where I just say, "It's been good. How about you?"
Good. Shove those feelings down, Dave. Keep them compressed as tightly as possible, and never say a word to anybody.
Totally. What's up, John?
John, how's it going, man? Nice to see you. Give us a shout out if you are watching and you're in the chat.
Yes.
But for me, it's been a weird week. I have had a lot of stuff going on. I haven't had a chance to watch anything outside of the purview of this show and our podcast.
Yes.
But lots of stuff going on. As you know, I'm editing a film right now, and we're doing an overhaul of this thing. We've seen some of the first cuts, and we're like, we got to change some things. So as the editor, I have the actual really fun job of like retooling this entire narrative. So we're reframing the film. It's going to be really cool. I'm really excited. Hey, Hawk Rules.
What's up, buddy?
So hopefully hitting some festivals with that. We'll see. It's going to be fun. But tomorrow evening, I leave. Guess where I'm going to be?
Hell.
Yes, actually. Otherwise known as Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yes. Exactly.
I'm just kidding. But I'm going back home. I'm going to be in town. Dave's not kidding. I'm going to be in town. So next stream you see us on is Sunday night. We're going to be streaming for the Oscars. We're going to watch along live. I'm going to be drinking. And Dave, are you going to be drinking?
No, I have to work the next morning.
That sucks. I don't. So
I'm already drinking for it.
Yeah, Jordan will drink for you. Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks, Jordan.
I'm pre-gaming right now.
There you go. So check that out. That'll be fun. Let us know what you're thinking. Give us your Oscar predictions and all that stuff. It's going to be fun. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. They normally go pretty late, though, don't they?
It's like 8 to probably 11. It's like 3 hours, I think.
Yikes.
Why?
I don't know. People are going to try and like hang out with us for 3 hours? I don't even want to hang out with us for 3 hours.
That's depressing. I don't have any more friends than you. So please come hang out. Yeah, it'll be 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. On the West Coast. For 3 hours or so. So hop in, hop out, give us your predictions and whatever. That'll be fun.
But, it'll be a good time.
Yeah, when I'm back in town, we also next week's stream, because I'll also be in Cincinnati for next week's weekly movie stream.
Yep.
Next Tuesday, we're going to be talking about a couple fun creature films. We're going to talk about Cocaine Bear. Out, and we're going to talk about Lake Placid. Do you guys remember Lake Placid?
Oh, God. I remember it very, very vaguely, which makes me very excited for watching it again.
I can't wait to watch this movie again. It was... Do you remember the television station USA? I don't know if that's...
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. I remember USA. I used to watch stuff on USA all the time. Mainly Chuck Norris stuff.
Oh, yeah. Good point. Actually, a lot of weird like creature films around there. Played Tremors a lot, but they played Lake Placid a lot. There's like one summer where they played Lake Placid over and over and over again.
Oh,
and
God.
A lot. So I probably haven't seen it since then. So I'm excited to see it and talk about that.
If this gator or croc in Lake Placid is not like 19 feet long, I'm going to be pretty pissed.
First Prize Games fun fact, there's a Simpson episode called Lake Placid. Is that true?
I wouldn't doubt it.
I wouldn't doubt it either.
I wouldn't doubt that at all, if I'm being 100% honest with you. Yeah, sorry.
Dave, welcome to the show.
Hey, nice to be here. Thanks for having me.
Good morning.
Sorry, my phone is updating in front of me and it's doing something it's never done before, and I got concerned. That's all.
Okay, well, throw it away. We'll get back to it in a couple hours. But short of that, there's some strange... Oh, what? Excuse me, Hawk Rules? There's Betty White is in Lake. Are you talking about
Lake Placid?
Oh, I hope she's not Lake Placid. Although I wouldn't put it past her. God bless Betty White. Rest in peace. Wait. Oh, sorry.
Did she really die?
Are you kidding me? Dave, where have you been, dude?
Under my rock, dude. Where have you been?
Like a year ago.
Nuh-uh.
Yes, she did. I swear to God. Betty White has been dead for like a year.
Since 2021, December. Late December.
Thank you very much.
Wow. Well, honestly, are you surprised that I don't know?
I'm not.
11 things.
Well, that's a good point. That's a very good point. I'm not surprised at all. You surprised me in zero ways, Dave, but I still love you.
Well, that makes one of us.
I don't know, Hawk Rules. If she's in it, that would be actually really funny. I hope I get a little Betty White surprise in my Lake Placid viewing. Hey, we should watch that together because I have to watch it when I'm in Cincinnati. So
we should do what?
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to the chat. You're discluded. Okay. But do you have any movie news, Dave?
I have a couple of movie news things.
What hit me?
I'm going to start out. I'm going to come out swinging.
Okay.
There's a Roadhouse remake on its way.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, right? With Jake Gyllenhaal and Conor McGregor.
And apparently there is a video that I haven't seen, but they filmed in a real UFC octagon thing or whatever. Yeah, and he's got a brutal flying knee knockout in that video. So Roadhouse is going to suddenly be very brutal. Very
established in its fighting methods. Yeah, no. Are you interested in seeing this?
No.
Yeah,
I've never even seen the original. So like, why would I have no reason to? Why are you shocked? Why are you shocked?
I don't know. You're right. I shouldn't be shocked. I know I shouldn't be shocked, but still, Roadhouse, man, Swayze. We should do a Roadhouse stream when the new one comes out. We'll watch the original one and the new one.
Okay.
And compare them. I think that could be fun.
Interesting. That would be fun.
Thanks, Hawk Rules. I'm looking forward more so to Lake Placid now for the Betty White.
Is she one of the Crocs?
Hi. Check it in.
Oh, goodness. What about you? You got anything movie news related?
Yeah, I got a number of things. Have you seen there's a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem? It looks fun, dude. Have you seen the trailer?
I have seen the trailer, and I was like, oh, I'm going to see this. This is going to be cool. I was a huge fan as a kid. Yeah. Thanks to my older brother, like had the action figures and stuff, and
totally.
One of my earliest memories is at a neighbor's house trying to sneak past her mom, who was babysitting us, to steal her brother's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys to play with for the day.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you were like sneaking up on your friend's mom, pretending you were Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and
I hit her with some nunchucks. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, for sure.
Wait. It was one of those Psy things.
Sure,
the trident, the baby trident.
Yeah. Sounds troubling. Your upbringing.
I'm wanted for murder.
Dodging warrants since you were 8.
It's true. 4.
4. It's impressive.
Get it right.
I'm excited for this though, dude. How do you feel about the animation style? I think it looks really cool.
I think it does look really cool. Granted, I did see the trailer like first thing when I woke up in the morning, so I'm not fully there. But I am still excited. I think it looks great. I don't know. I think that I don't think we needed another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles anything, but I'm glad we're getting it.
No, I agree with you because I remember seeing the original ones. I was a relative fan. I wouldn't say like a super fan. My older brother was also a big fan. And so I kind of got that from him. But the original kind of live action movies, those are fun, dude.
Those are fun.
The first one specifically.
Those are the ones that I'm like, I refuse to go back and watch again because I have good memories of them.
Yeah.
And I'm afraid they're going to be horrible. Like going back to watch, like kind of how like when I always had this like wonderful like thought or memory of Mortal Kombat from '94. And I rewatched it a few years ago, and I was like,
"That movie is a mess.
It's awful. It's really bad,
embarrassing. Everybody should be embarrassed."
I agree.
I know you were a child when you saw it, but even at the time when it came out, everybody was like, "Oh, that's bad."
Yeah, I didn't know that. It's not like I saw it in theaters. I just remember seeing it
Right.
at Flora's house, actually.
Oh, cool. Oh, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I obviously didn't go see it in theaters, but I saw it as a teenager. I was like, yikes, like big fucking yikes from me.
Super yikes.
But with this though, with the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, I think it's produced by Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
It's from Seth Rogen. They say from the perpetual teenager Seth Rogen or whatever it is in the trailer. It's kind of funny.
Oh,
But-
I just noticed that I'm looking through some screenshots, screen grabs.
Yeah.
Apparently, Michelangelo has braces.
Well, yeah, if you recall in the trailer that you saw this morning, they're all like teenagers, like actual,
Well, yeah, because they're Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
not 30-year-old men in bodysuits like the original.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be great. I'm very excited to go see it. And do we have any idea when it's coming out?
This year. That's what I know. I'm not sure yet. I don't know if there's an official release date or not. I don't recall.
August 4th.
But
August 4th.
Post Malone is the voice. See, I didn't even get that deep into it.
Wow, I didn't hear that either.
That's going to be interesting because honestly, I think the trailer is really fun. I saw it really quick. Also, in terms of the animation style, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What I kind of thought about this, it made me think about when I saw this, is that animation is kind of moving past the attempts at like realism, like the Pixarification of things.
Yeah, a little bit.
And they're kind of leaning into like the more stylized stuff, like since Into the Spider-Verse.
I was gonna say yes.
Yeah, they're like, oh, these things can work. We can take these like more niche animation styles and like interesting artwork, and that can work. People like that stuff or are interested, and I absolutely am. I mean, that absolutely drew me in. I'm not a particular fan of like looking for animated films. I have no problem with them, but this one I was like, this is great, and I think there's fun little jokes. But I think a lot of that Spider-Verse stuff really helped kick that trend off.
I agree 100%. And that's actually the first thing I thought of when you brought it up, because, we had been trending really towards like that hyper realism, whatever, and the nice like super stylized animation is it actually they did it in Dragon Ball Super's latest movie too. It's like overly stylized, yeah. So I think that because it's getting such good reviews, not necessarily reviews, but response for that style, I think it's gonna keep going like that.
Yeah, and what we did a stream a handful of weeks ago on Akira and Ghost in the Shell, which are two animes. Mm-hmm. I don't know anything really about anime, but like after watching Akira, I was like, whoa, that's also a very stylized form of animation. Mm-hmm. And there's so much, like, it's so expressive that I wasn't really expecting, and so I think utilizing that, I see some of those things, and like with some of the more stylized animation, it can be a little more expressive, a little more fun and goofy, as opposed to like Pixar spending an entire decade to trying to figure out how to get hair to look right in their like, engines and stuff. I'm like, nobody cares.
No,
who cares? Give us a good story, and you can animate it with Legos.
It's true. I loved the Lego Movie. Actually, in fact, I quote the Lego Movie every day.
Oh yeah.
What quote? I go. It's from the song. Everything is awesome. Yeah. Everything's so cool when you're part of a team.
Yeah.
But I say it ironically and like I'm crying.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's sad. So, what other music or movie news?
Everything is awesome. Well, apparently there was a study done, and they found that in 2022 men spoke twice as much as women in the movies from 2022, which is
I could see that,
which is like dumb, annoying.
Well, it is funny because people call these things out, and then like the next year there's like an uptick of this, and they're like, people are satisfied, right? And then they just go back the way it was.
So stupid.
It's like you have to constantly like point these things out, and people are like, why you always got to say stuff like that? It's like, because it doesn't change. Nothing changes unless you keep pointing it out, dude.
Right. And it's crazy to me because um especially because there are a lot more I mean still not enough. There's still not enough representation, but there's a lot more women in, directorial roles and producer roles and stuff like
Yeah.
that can get these things to change, but I guess they're still outnumbered so heavily it doesn't really matter.
No, for sure. So the director I'm working with on my short film that I've been editing,
Mhm.
she's an incredible director. She's
Mhm.
definitely on her way up and stuff. So I'm excited, and especially like other people she knows as well. Like so many talented people that I'm very lucky to know and be working with, and I can't wait to see how they come up in the
Yes.
future. It's gonna be great.
I'm excited to see what Sarah does, to be honest with you. I think she's going to.
She's incredibly
Yes.
talented storyteller and director. So it's gonna be awesome, dude. For sure. But I have some other news. I actually, it's less news and it's more of a question. So also,
Okay.
chat, I would love to get your input on this. There's a Dungeons and Dragons movie coming out.
Is it not out already? I thought it was out already.
That's how little I care about this thing. Have you? I was wondering if you've seen the trailer and is this something? I'm not. I have no problem with Dungeons and Dragons as a property or a game or whatever. I've never played it, but and I'm open to seeing movies about things that I am not involved with. But I don't know. I saw the trailer and I was like, what is this? What's going on? And
I don't know.
I don't know if my eyes just glazed over immediately.
Well, I know, and I don't want to speak for anybody, but I know Chloe wants to see it, and she used to play Dungeons and Dragons,
Okay.
and I probably am not going to see it just because I already have so many things that I need to see.
Sure.
And although there was a really funny scene floating around, like on TikTok that they posted,
Yeah.
that was like, okay, maybe. It looks pretty funny. So if it's funny and fun, then I hear like good things, then yeah, maybe I'm gonna go see it. I don't have a problem with it.
No,
I
it's
just
same. I don't have a problem with it. I just feel like the marketing was so like, at least the trailer that I saw in the theater was so middle of the road. You could have attached any name
yeah.
to this property, like the Middle Earth wizards of whatever tribe. It's something I don't care. It doesn't matter. I would have been like, sure,
Uh-huh.
fine. I don't care. Like, so if anybody has a clue as to what makes this uniquely Dungeons and Dragons, I would like to know because it felt like very generic period piece, kind of like medieval fantasy film. It felt so generic. I don't know.
Well,
Did you see the trailer?
did I see the trailer? I did see the trailer.
Okay.
And listen, I was obviously Chloe One is not in the chat right now. She had prior obligations, but she did tell me
Are you reporting to our fans? Here's a list of people usually in the chat that can't make it.
No. I'm only saying this because she asked me to do that.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I am redeeming us some Neckos.
Very shitty of you, Dave.
I know. I'm sorry, but
if you're new here, this is what happens when people. It doesn't show up on the screen. So Jordan Armand, we need to get that to show up on the screen. You can use your channel points to redeem things like make us eat Necco wafers because you hate us. Dave hates us.
I do.
And did it to ourselves, so that's weird. Oh no, I already know this is a liquor. Bitch.
I will say I'm gonna quantify it here. The reason why I did it now is because you made fun of Dungeons and Dragons, and
I'm not making fun of. I don't care about Dungeons and Dragons. I'm just saying I think that the trailer looks so generic. It could be anything. It could be anything. It looks almost like a weird medieval Marvel movie. Is what it looks like.
Well, I don't know. Bottoms up.
Okay, fuck me, I guess. No. God damn it. No. I'm spitting this out. You're garbage and I hate you. Oh, it's so bad. I get the licorice ones. Like I got a whole sleeve of like licorice Neckos, dude. Not even
Bro,
cool.
that's so funny.
Oh, I hate this. All right, John. Sorry, John in the chat dropping some knowledge here.
Thanks, Jordan.
So John says Dungeons and Dragons was attempted before in 2000, but the movie really wasn't a hit, and it came out 1 year before the beginning of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Oh, that makes sense. I feel like to have a large thing like that. Hey, Gina, what's up?
What's up, Gina?
I'm telling you, dude, it's like stuck in my molars. That little hole where my wisdom teeth is. Anyway,
gross.
Fun for the whole family. But yeah, I think especially back then, it definitely couldn't have worked. I think it would work more so now. But buddy, it just feels so generic. So
I mean, I don't know. The clip that I saw didn't feel generic. I don't know. I think it could be decent. I think it could be funny. I'm not going to go out of my way to see it, but
I hope it's good for people who are into it. I really hope it's good. I do, but it didn't pull me in as a movie person, a movie audience member. I don't know how you'd classify me. As somebody who has seen movies, I don't know how I feel about it.
As someone with eyes.
Fair enough, but yeah, I just wanted to know because I saw something about it and I was like, isn't it? I don't know. I haven't heard anybody talking about it, so
no, I don't care either way, but hopefully it's good, and maybe I'll see it if I hear good things.
Fair enough. Do you have anything else movie news wise?
I do. I want to use this one, but I feel like you would rather because it's your thing. But I'll go ahead and do it. Sure. Apparently, the movie that you're excited about, Evil Dead Rise, is more like the 2013 reboot than the original movie. Both filmmakers are equally capable individuals. This is a quote, by the way, from Bruce Campbell. Both filmmakers are equally capable individuals, so they both really just spanked it. It's not a yuck fest. It's not not hardy har. It's not ass shooting finger guns. This is real shit going down. These guys took it seriously. Lee Cronin is Irish, and he brings kind of a European feel to this thing.
What does he mean, European feel? Like,
I don't know,
pure brutality. I'm not sure where that like necessarily lands, but yeah, I can see that. I did read something about this. As you all know, if you've been watching our stream for a while, we talked about the original Evil Dead versus the 2013 remake, which I love both movies, and I love the remake, dude. I love the 2013 version. I think it's gross and brutal, and I think it's a better story. For sure, it's a more fleshed out narrative than the original, which, the original wasn't intended to be like, it's just supposed to be a fun horror movie.
Yeah.
And I liked it. A lot of people disliked it and had lots of opinions on it. I thought it was great. I thought it was fun. So I'm excited to see this new one. It was on my list of movies that I'm for 2023 that I'm very excited to see.
Yeah.
So we definitely got to talk about it if you're open to it. I mean,
yeah.
But I have to be honest with you.
What?
I saw the trailer. I'm not a trailer watching kind of guy all the time. I like to go in cold, but I saw the trailer for this played before something I saw in the theater, and I was like,
no, look good.
I wasn't. I wasn't sold by the trailer. Let's just say that.
Okay.
I to see the movie, but I wasn't super hyped on the trailer.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Well, there's another couple. Do you have more movie news? Because there's a couple more I got.
Yeah, I got a couple more.
Let's do it. Hit me.
So, did you know Blumhouse, the notorious low-budget film studio, is getting into video games? Did you see this? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
I have not. I have no idea.
Apparently, they are they're opening like a indie games division, essentially, to give indie developers like a little bit of money, kind of like their films, where they give creators a little bit of money to make kind of whatever they want, their own like vision. And so Blumhouse is doing that to games, but like, I don't know. I'm just wondering what kind of like cheap video games we're going to get.
Yeah, probably some really ridiculous things, but
I hope there is some based on their movies. I'm not going to lie. I want the Megan video game where you play as Megan and make her dance and be in other shitty movies.
That would be pretty funny.
Any others? I think what other Blumhouse movies do you think would be good to adapt to a video game?
I don't know enough. I'm just gonna Google Blumhouse so I have something to say here, because I don't know exactly which movies that they have done. So I don't want to just be like, I don't know.
That's fair. Well, they did Whiplash, which is an Academy Award-winning film. I'd like to see that video game where you play as an abused musician and you have to maybe get like duck chairs.
Wait, Get Out is Blumhouse?
Yes, dude, we've talked about this.
Oh,
Get Out is
I don't listen to you.
I know you don't. We could actually. I would love to see the Get Out video game where I can get out of playing a video game and just do something else.
Actually, I think a Get Out video game would be fantastic, especially if it was scary.
It could be cool. Yeah. Okay. I guess. Or jokes aside, there could be some interesting properties there.
The Black Phone, I think, would be a really cool game to play.
Ooh, how would that gameplay go?
You would have to change it, I guess, a little bit so that you're not a child, because that would be weird. But you are abducted and you have to find your way out of the basement.
Oh, that could be fun. Like little clues and stuff like that. And like you have to like certain times you could like use the black phone to get more clues or something. That could be fun.
Yeah, I think that would be fantastic. I think there could be a cool game with Split.
That's what John says here. M. Night made 3 movies at Blumhouse. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Visit was at Blumhouse. I know Split was Blumhouse, but I guess I didn't realize Glass was. I didn't see Glass.
I did not see Glass either. Obviously.
Fair enough. But
the Purge might be a fun one.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm up a creek.
That's fine. First Prize Game says too, like Ouija Origin of Evil, like a good Ouija board game that isn't actually you playing on a Ouija board, but it could be fun to like another like clue based kind of game, like a mystery game. You are the board.
Yeah. That would be cool. Like you could like go back to the Ouija board for like clues or some shit.
Yeah, but if you ask it too many clues, it just keeps saying like goodbye or fuck you.
Like you can't use it too much. That would be cool, actually.
Develop these games.
I just remembered something that I wanted to bring up to you. It's not necessarily movie news, but it's movie related. Okay. I don't know why the hell I have this thing, but I was going through all my stuff that I have packed away. Mm-hmm. Oh, it looks so bad. And I found my box of like DVDs, which are obviously obsolete, right? And one of the DVDs that I found is a movie called Greystone Park.
What?
Which is inspired by true events. And I was like, what is, like, I don't remember it at all, but like I have it pulled up on my IMDb right now. And it's like the trailer's playing on mute in the background. And it looks so bad.
Wait, what? Wait, I've never heard of this. What year is this movie from?
It is 2012. It's an hour and 23 minutes long. Okay. The entire synopsis.
Okay.
The entire synopsis is 3 aspiring filmmakers document inexplicable events in a haunted abandoned mental institution.
Oh, Jesus.
You gotta look it up. Because even the cover of the DVD and like the poster is so bad. I was like, I gotta talk to Blake about this. I kind of want to make you watch it, not for the stream or anything, because nobody.
I would watch this. This sounds like really awful. Wait, so do you actually own this movie?
Yes, I do.
How did you come into possession of this?
I bought it. I can't remember why or where. I don't remember none of it, but I bought it.
Sounds about right. So First Prize Games, what's the worst inspired by true scary movies that I've seen? That's actually a really good question. Thanks for the clarity on stream, Jordan. The worst inspired by true events movies. There's so many. That was like such a trend too, of like it is inspired by true events. I think the most egregiously bad ones in terms of like actually being inspired by true events is the Conjuring stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're not inspired by true events. They're inspired by lies, but oh, Dave. Oh, Dave, you bought that at a gas station, didn't you?
I think I might have bought it at Walmart or something.
Gas station. For sure. Somebody at the gas station directed that.
Wait, it's really funny because on the back it says special features, and one of them is never before seen alternate ending. I'm pretty sure this whole movie is never before seen.
I also like how some of those DVDs with just the movie on it, it's like special features in color, subtitle. Wait, First Press Games. What's the one directed by Mel Gibson? This is interesting. This is an interesting topic of discussion because, well, first off, that movie looks fucking terrible. I definitely want to see it.
Yeah, I want to make you watch it, and I'll watch it again just so we can bullshit. God damn, Jordan.
Got him. Got me.
Well, hey, since we're not recording this weekend,
yeah,
I think you should watch it.
I think I should. I do hate myself and want to be miserable all the time. So
why not? Time. I agree. I think you should.
More. Oh, maybe I just make you stay all night. Whoa, something is happening.
What happened?
Computer is taking over itself.
What happened was.
Oh, that's weird. I spilled water on my keyboard right before the stream started, and now strange occurrences are happening. Or my computer's been possessed. Probably that.
More than likely the latter of the two.
Yeah, that was actually kind of spooky. So if I start saying 5 over and over and over again, it's because my notes just started typing 5s.
I think it's the ghost from Greystone Park.
He's like, I heard you making fun of me. The guy at the gas station who made me wouldn't be so happy.
No. Oh, I think my favorite part that I just realized looking back at it one more time.
Yeah.
Is that.
I love it. I actually really like that. So I do have another little bit of movie news in Keanu related movie news.
Yes, I knew you were gonna say.
The actor has revealed that he kept from The Matrix. He kept the red pill that the directors gave to him. The first one that he had, the prop of the red pill.
That's not what I thought you were gonna say. But he kept the pill.
He kept the pill. He kept that prop. And so it got me thinking of what other actors have taken famous movie props from movies they're in, and what movie prop, if you could choose any movie prop to take out of a movie and keep in your home, what would it be?
Okay. I got it. It's the Porsche they drive in Bad Boys.
I knew it was gonna be a car. As soon as I typed this thing out, I was like, I know it's gonna be a car. Chat, chime in. What great movie prop would you keep?
Actually, I think there's a cooler answer than that. Also, that's not the car I would choose. I would choose the white Supra from the end of Fast and Furious 7. Or the blue Nissan Skyline from Fast and Furious 5.
Saying a lot of words.
Yes.
I don't know what they are.
But if it's not a car, I don't know.
It can be anything. That's the conceit of the question. It can be anything.
Let me think. You go.
Okay, me go. Well, none, because I don't have room in my tiny apartment. But gun to my head, I think I would probably say the coffee can from The Big Lebowski that they put Donnie's ashes in.
Oh shit.
Mostly because it would blend in with my other home decor.
Oh my god, that's really funny.
Hawk Rose, that's a good answer. Anything that The Rock touched. Also, I don't know if you were on last week's stream, but are you excited for Skyscraper 2?
Oh my god.
Tall Skyscraper 2 parentheses
tall building.
It's gonna be great. Come into your local discount cinema.
I want Skyscraper prequel, like when they're building it, and it's just an hour of a couple of dudes working.
It's a good talking about like, yeah, I know I gotta take the kids up here. There's a recital this weekend. So, yeah, a little behind on my mortgage this week, but picking up some extra jobs.
That's funny.
The final shot is them looking at the, it's like, man, we built this building. There's a little fire. Like, oh no.
Oh my God, my mind just went so dark.
What? Spill.
I don't wanna.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna. So they're maybe, I don't know. They're I'm gonna wait until you finish your sip there.
Thank you.
They're looking up like, man, we built this building. We did it. And it's one of the trade centers.
No, you don't. As soon as you started talking, I knew you were gonna say it. Wrong.
Oh, I can't help it.
Terrible.
My brain just went there.
It's said that. Brilliant. Yeah, no, John. So that's what we were talking about last week. Like, first off, I didn't remember that there was a Skyscraper movie because Icky, who was on last week, was like, they're making another one, and I'm like, wait, was there a first one? Was there a thing? You said it. I looked it up. It's literally The Rock saving his family from a burning building or something.
Yeah.
And they're gonna do another one. So I don't know.
He just keeps going into buildings.
Everything's on fire.
It's a dumber premise than Taken 2 and 3.
That's actually hilarious. Oh man, my keyboard is toast, dude. That's actually not good. This is not good for me and my workload tomorrow. So that's actually all the news I have.
Oh, great. I have two more, and they're both kind of quick.
Okay, let's do it.
One I'm excited about. One I'm very confused about. I'm going to go with the excited one first. Keanu Reeves confirms that he's spoken to James Gunn about Constantine 2.
So this has been popping up in movie news stuff lately. Like there was confirmed they're definitely doing Constantine 2, and then we're probably going to do it. And now we're talking to other people about it. I don't know. I'll believe it when I see behind the scenes like production stills or something.
Well, I guess because Constantine is a DC comic book character.
Right.
And James Gunn is in charge of the DCU. Right. So
whatever. I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. First Press Games is right. Like they've been saying this for at least half a decade. All this stuff. People have wanted to do it. And people are trying to do it. And there's a script. And sure, lots of talk. Let's see some action.
That's fair. The more confusing one is there's a movie coming out called Paint.
With
Owen Wilson plays Carl Nargle, which is a hilarious last name, and who is a legendary painter who hosted Vermont's top painting show for 30 years with his signature whisper and artistic skill. It looks a lot like Bob Ross. Yeah,
it's not a parody, but inspired by to go back to our inspired by true events.
Yes.
But yeah, because the interesting thing too is I'm glad they didn't call it like Bob Ross and all this stuff. Yes, no, First Press Games. It's I don't know. It probably is a rights thing, but I'm glad they're not doing the Bob Ross thing because Bob Ross's actual family got cut out of all the.
They did. It's fucked.
Yeah, it's so messed up, dude. It's so messed up. So they got cut out of like all his royalties and even like his image. When his image and likeness and stuff are used, they get no money. So I'm really glad that they just did something else, and hopefully they don't pay these scumbags who own Bob Rastafari, who own the rights to the Bob Ross stuff.
Yeah, I think that'd be nice.
Yeah, and John, sorry to back up here, but yeah, you're dead right. The first Constantine came out. Yeah, I was like literally 15 years old. I'm 32 years old. This should have happened a decade ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be interested to see who cares when it comes out. I don't even care that much. Like we talked about it before, and I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. And I'm like,
I think it would be dope. I really like that movie. That's a movie that I will like. I won't go out of my way to put on, but if I like, let's just say I had like a full day to do nothing, and nothing for the podcast, nothing for the stream, and I was like, I'm gonna watch a movie, and I thought of fucking Constantine, I'd be like, oh yes, I'm gonna watch this.
Interesting. Not for me. Not that I have any problem. I like the movie. I like the movie, but it's not something that's like ingrained in me or something that I would think to like put on.
Right.
Maybe if I was like flipping through like channels and stuff and it was on and I was like, yeah, I'm not doing anything. Maybe I'll watch some of this. Maybe. I don't care enough. I might go see it if it looks appetizing enough, but short of that, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like, I don't know how to like the words. I don't know any words apparently. So
I'm just gonna stream for you.
I'm having a full-on aneurysm, I guess. I don't know why I'm so like middle of the road, like into that movie. Cause like I'm not into it, but I'm like, yeah, I like that movie a lot. Yeah. And there was a Constantine TV series in 2014.
News to me.
Interesting.
News to me. That actually is interesting, dude. By the way, if anybody wants some like fun movie stuff going on their Twitter feed, follow John on Twitter.
Yes.
Drop your Twitter handle in the chat, dude, because I love your Twitter account and there's so much fun stuff going on in there. Lots of great discussion too. So follow him. It's a good time. So thanks, John.
Thanks, dude.
I learned a lot on our own streams from you.
Yeah, it's like you're bringing us the facts behind the scenes stuff.
Somebody's got to.
I mean, yeah, we don't.
No. What do I look like? Knowledgeable?
Please. I haven't even seen 95% of movies.
Dave just discovered movies not too long ago.
Do you know there's this thing that you can watch on your TV that like it's like a couple hours long. It's like a couple hour long TV show.
And it tells
but one time. You don't have to like keep watching.
Dave's mind has been blown pretty recently, so check out our podcast. It's movie related.
Basically, I think what happened was you realized that I lived under a rock, and you're like, we're gonna
take
this, and I'm like,
it is fun. I love that. I love that about you. You're a really fun person to talk to, and this is why I like doing the stream with you too, like on top of the podcast, because I get to make you watch things, you get to make me watch things, and some of your opinions just blow my freaking mind, dude, in the worst ways.
It's true.
The worst ways. Yes, this is John's Twitter. It's at Jeb91380 JB.
He's got all kinds of really cool stuff, movie related stuff, and I've seen a few things where he tagged us in something, a movie poster or something. I'm like, I'm gonna leave this to Blake because I don't know what that is.
Good stuff. But I'm done. I'm done with movie news. I'm ready to move on to the main event here. We're talking about M. Night Shyamalan movies. We're talking a couple. We're talking about the latest, Knock at the Cabin from 2023, and we're also talking about 2000's Unbreakable. So. Yeah. And everything in between. So by all means, we're not just keeping it there. But I have to know, Dave, are you a fan of M. Night Shyamalan movies?
No, but not in a bad way.
Okay.
I've seen them. I liked both of these movies.
Interesting.
But I don't know. I mean, yeah, he's got his classics, but I have opinions about some stuff that he's done, and I don't like go out of my way to watch M. Night Shyamalan movies.
Neither do I.
So, but it's not that I dislike them. I don't have a negative thought process towards him or his movies. Okay. I just don't care enough.
No, I get that. I lost you for a second.
Huh?
I lost your audio for a second.
Yeah, because I was clearing my throat.
Oh, right on. For me, so I was introduced to M. Night Shyamalan with the Sixth Sense.
Yes.
Like, yo, I love this movie. I was obsessed with it. And I saw it when I was younger. And then Unbreakable came out, I think the next year, which is what we're going to talk about. And I loved it. I was blown away by the movie. Even though I was young, it just stuck with me for so long. And so I catch his movies afterwards, and I wasn't too mad at The Village and then I kind of stopped giving a fuck a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's some left-hand turns there, some interesting things, some strange decisions. Oh, Signs. Yeah, thank you, First Press Games. We talked about Signs on the podcast in season 1 as well.
True.
What do we do? Is alien invasion movies, and we talked about Signs versus A Quiet Place.
Yep, we sure did.
Really fun episode. I loved Signs. I freaking loved that movie.
Yeah, I did not. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I thought it was pretty good.
I loved it when it came out, and I was pretty surprised by it when we revisited it too for the podcast. But so that's kind of where I stand. People loved Split, which came out not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was fine with it. It didn't really blow me away. I thought The Visit, which was like a low budget film, one of his first films, kind of back after some critical failures, like After Earth with Will Smith.
Oh God, that was him.
Yeah, that was an M. Night Shyamalan movie, dude.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't think it was very good, but I'd say The Visit was interesting. Split was fine. I didn't really care about. I haven't seen Glass. I saw Old was the last one that came out a few years ago, which I saw, and it's so. I liked certain things about it, but I feel like the direction was so bungled. It was so strange. So I don't want to call it a bad movie, but it was very interesting. Is the premise being that people are trapped on this beach at a resort and they are aging rapidly.
Oh,
yeah.
Like they're overly aging.
What do you mean overly aging?
Like they're aging too fast?
Yes. It's like every hour or something is like another year or something.
Oh, weird.
It's an interesting premise, as well as what I think of. I think it's an interesting premise that we're going to get into for Knock at the Cabin. But I wasn't a huge fan of the movie, although I didn't really hate it. I just thought there were some really bizarre directing choices and narrative choices there. But we are talking about the latest, and I don't want to say greatest, movie, Knock the Cabin from 2023. So Jordan, if we could get the trailer, it's long. It's a long trailer, so we're not going to watch this whole thing because, damn, dude, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
Okay, watching the whole thing commencing now.
Oh fuck!
Damn it. And Stream, do you have audio?
I do not have audio.
I do not.
Are we gonna sing along?
Yes, Stream has audio.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
I wanna put on my boogie shoes. Yeah, I wanna put on my boogie shoes.
Go into the forest, where Dave Bautista also happens.
Well, where he just is in the forest. No one knows why.
Do you have any butter?
Do you have any Grey Poupon?
My name's Leonard. Well, it's nice to meet you, Will.
Why are you here?
I suppose I'm here to make friends with you. And your dad's too.
Nope.
But
That's
my
not
heart is broken
automatically a bad thing.
Why is it broken?
because of what I have to do today.
There is a woman carrying something that looks like a pick with a chain and a mallet in it.
Oh boy.
See, the four of us have a very important job to do. In fact, it might be the most important job in the history of the world.
That's not fair. I love this whole thing. He doesn't. Oh, way to pause it when he's away, you dick.
Sorry.
So
I was
Jordan,
actually like really into this trailer, and I know we weren't going to watch the whole thing, but I was like, "What's going to happen?"
right?
The entire movie happens in that trailer.
Oh, well, good. I've seen it.
It's true.
So Dave, tell us what is the story of Knock at the Cabin?
So, God bless America. Knock at the Cabin is about a family who goes on a cabin vacation, I guess.
Yeah.
And they are approached by 4 strangers who, oh, no kidding. The Happening was rated R?
It was like hyped up. We talked about The Happening on this stream, and it was hyped up as M. Night Shyamalan's first rated R movie.
Oh, I remember that now.
What crazy shit is he gonna do? Nothing.
Zilch, 0.
This also does not feel the mower scene. I always think of the mower scene.
Mm-hmm.
This movie does not feel like a rated R movie, but we'll get into that. So Dave,
It doesn't, yeah.
back to your description.
Back to my description.
I have so much to say about this movie.
So 4 people approach, and it seems like it's a cult or Jehovah's Witnesses. Who knows? And turns out these 4 people think that they are prophets of some kind, and they're here to stop the apocalypse by killing one of them. But they have to kill themselves. They can't do it for them.
Yes, these 4 people show up, and they say, hey, we don't want to hurt you, but you have to decide to hurt each other. You have to sacrifice one of yourselves. And if you don't, the world is going to end.
Yes.
And like, okay, that's a fine enough premise. That's an interesting enough premise. If, I don't know, I whatever, fine. I'm fine with it. But I need to know, relatively spoiler free. I'm not going to spoil this thing, even though I want to, because I have feelings about it. But Dave, I need to know some of the things you enjoyed about this movie.
I enjoyed Ron Weasley.
Okay, Rupert Grint is in this movie, giving it his all after his Thunderpants days.
Yes. So I liked quite a few things in this movie. I really, really, really liked the back and forth between the main antagonist, Leonard, and the daughter, Wen, when they're out in the front forest of the house. And
yeah, so that's how the movie starts, by the way.
Yes.
And the little girl that you saw in the trailer, she's out capturing grasshoppers in a jar, and a large man with glasses and a button-up comes out of the woods. He's like, hey, what's your name? And she's like, I don't talk to strangers. He's like, okay, well, let me keep talking to you, and then we won't be strangers anymore. And Wen, being the smart little girl, says, hey, buddy, that's a good point.
Loophole.
Like, this kid has definitely abducted a child before.
As we find out, no, it's not it at all. But
Could be.
It's not. He's a teacher.
Could be.
No.
Go on.
I won't let you. No, but I really, really like the back and forth, the way it's shot, how it's just like, boom, right up on both their faces. And eventually it just starts to like fucking turn a little bit.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I really enjoyed those shots.
There's some interesting cinematography in this. I don't think it's very consistent throughout. No. We'll get to that later, but I think that is a strong scene. A strong thing for me, 2 of the strongest things for me were first, Dave Bautista's performance.
He crushed it. He knocked it out of the park.
So good. He's so good. And we've talked about his acting on this show before. He has really come into his own as an actor. You can tell he cares. He's giving it his all. He's not just, stunting for the camera.
Yeah.
Right? He really cares about the craft.
Yes, and which is very nice. I think he absolutely knocked it out of the park, especially with those ridiculous close-ups. I really liked I really liked the story overall. There's not a whole lot I disliked about this movie, to be honest with you.
Really? Okay. Yeah, no, we'll keep talking about that because I disliked most things about this movie.
Oh, great. Cool.
Yeah.
That's fine. You're wrong sometimes. But I was given a qualifier to go into this movie. If you go into this movie expecting it to be the stereotypical M. Night Shyamalan type film with the, signature twist, you're going to be disappointed.
But I don't think people have been expecting a M. Night Shyamalan twist for 10 plus years. I would argue 15 years. Nobody's been like, what's the twist going to be? That was like a early 2000s thing, and then it petered out because this movie, whatever, we're going to get into that. But yeah, go on.
Anyway, But if you go into it thinking it's just a regular movie, it's pretty good. I don't think that I would say I loved it per se, because it did feel like it was over too fast in a weird way. Like the story was just, not that the movie should have been longer. It's just like the story was just like, we're here and the movie's over. It's like, wait, what?
No, for sure.
We're here. Some stuff happens.
Yeah.
And the movie's over.
Right. That's exactly how I feel about this movie, actually. It's funny you say it.
But, and I think I do actually have a dislike that we can get to eventually, but I really liked the performances from everybody, especially like you said, Dave Bautista. I really liked the cinematography. The story was fun in a way. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard for me to just like point out certain things because I just liked it totally.
Okay, so you don't have any like specific likes more than those like really general things, which is fine because we can talk about the general things. I do agree with you. I think the performances are fine, and again, I want to make this qualifier. I don't blame child actors for not giving great performances. I think that is solely a director's responsibility.
Yeah,
for those things. There's moments of really great stuff from the little girl who plays Wen. I don't overall believe her performance at all. Again, I don't think that's her fault, but I think that's a director thing. But I think Jonathan Groff was really good. The guy who plays his husband, Andrew, was really good. Obviously Dave Bautista. Rupert Grint was great. He wasn't in it very long. But even the two women who played the other characters, I think they did great. I'm not familiar with them or their work, but I think everybody tried. Everybody tried this movie, and that's something to hold it up for.
Yeah, I also really liked how the four like antagonists or whatever, you could tell they really, really didn't want to be doing this. Like, I really believed except for Rupert Grint's character, but I believed all the rest of the three of them. Like this was really hard, and like for them as characters to go through with it. And yeah, they're all a little, but you could tell like there was no real malicious side of them other than Rupert Grint's character.
Well, so here's my thing about that too. What I think is interesting. So obviously the premise is these four people are here to force Jonathan Groff's character, Eric, and his husband, Andrew, they have to sacrifice one of them, essentially. They decide which one's going to die to save the world. And to your point, I believed that they believed everything that they were saying to a degree that it didn't leave any, like, as much ambiguity as I think it was trying to. This movie did not feel ambiguous at all. And I think it undercut itself very quickly in that aspect. Also with the cinematography, there are some interesting little detail things in there. I think that there's like a nice little cant that was going on, as scenes kind of got weirder, but a lot of it was shot just, here's the shot. Okay, now we're gonna cut to this shot. All right, now we're going to cut to this shot. It felt very, I don't know, it felt very unmotivated. Like a lot of this, and then there's like, oh, this is a big moment, so we're going to like dolly the camera up to the character, and then we're going to cut to another character. Even though they're not saying anything and they're reacting, their reaction doesn't mean anything. We're going to dolly into it like it means something.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of those things of like flashy cinematography that didn't really add up to like mean anything. It just felt like, we should probably move the camera because this is going to be boring if we don't.
Right.
So, which comes down to like a writing thing. So like write the scene more interesting or block your scene more interesting. Give the character something to do other than stand in a room and talk about stuff. This is a very tell, don't show kind of movie.
Right. I do have a push, but I do feel like I have to push back a little bit.
Push back on
you said this movie was very unambiguous. I don't think that's true.
I did not feel I felt a sense of ambiguity until so essentially what they go through is if Jonathan Groff's character Eric and his husband Andrew, if they don't decide, at certain intervals if they're going to kill one of the other of themselves, one of the people from the prophet people who came to keep them hostage, they have to die. And so after one of them dies, they turn on the news like, oh, we unleashed a plague, and they turn on the news and these things are happening.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. So it is happening. And it even tells you in the trailer, like it shows you things that are happening. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it is happening. And they are all very earnest. Their performances are not ambiguous. The script is not ambiguous. So,
well, the fact that I forget his name, whichever one it is, but the one of the dads is like, no, it's not happening. They're using like
Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew says they're using pre-recorded events. That sounds like, oh,
but how? But how? There's a lot of things that's another thing that I also disliked is on top of the ambiguity, the skepticism that comes out of those things is like feels so forced because they like cut the phone lines and stuff but all of a sudden they do have like access to like network or like cable TV stations and stuff, but also there's these like events that are happening that are confirmed to be real but are like he thinks they're pre-recorded somehow, and I'm like, nope. But also on top of this, they're prophets, right? They say they're prophets. They've heard, they've seen their visions rather. Like we all met up and we all have to do this thing. I'm like, okay, but how did you find each other? Why this cabin? Why all these things? And they introduce these questions and they are never answered or touched on ever again. They're like, yeah, forget that shit.
They answer how they met
on the internet. Yeah. But like, it was very general, like, oh, we found each other and then we came to this cabin.
Well, yeah, how they got there and why is.
And not that I need the like oh well, we saw this, we did this, and we went into the map and we saw this cabin. I don't need that, but like don't ask a question for the audience and then never answer it.
That's what I'm saying. That's part of the reason why I think I don't really give a shit about M. Night Shyamalan, because you make good points, but I don't know. I still like this movie. I don't like agree with some of the stuff that you're saying necessarily.
No, that's right. And that's what we're here to discuss, because I think it's a sloppy ass movie narratively. I think it's super sloppy. But before we hop into other things, like what are there other like standout moments that you like truly loved, minus any major spoilers?
Loved is a strong word. No, I'm going to say liked.
Well, sure.
There's I liked how they kept almost getting away.
Okay. I don't. No, I understand. There's interesting things because you have to keep it moving. You have to give the captives, right? Eric and Andrew, a chance to escape, or their daughter Wen, a chance to escape. And there's like half-ass attempts, and then also the dumbest decisions. It's like classic horror movie. Like, why are you doing that? Why in the fuck would you do that? No reasonable person would do this, and they just do it anyway. And there's no real motivation for it. It just because the script tells them to. It felt very much like that to me. Very narratively unsound. Just pulling into these threads and it falls apart for me.
Well, like, what would you do in that situation? Like, if you were the character, like, let's say some of the stupid things they tried and didn't work, and you're like stereotypical. What would you have done differently as a human being?
I would have actually pulled the trigger. I would have actually killed everybody. Like, this sounds really dark. Sorry, stream. I'm not advocating murder, but if escaping and getting access to a gun, I would actually kill people that were trying to harm me or keep me captive instead of letting them run around with their own things.
Their own weird tools.
Like, they have like weird like farm tools almost that are like wire, like made to like, do they have to be ceremonial like this? Could they just be a regular knife from like Home Depot or something?
Like one of them has like a trident axe.
Yeah. Here's your cobbled together trident axe that I made in my garage. Like it's God told me to do it or something. I don't know.
This is a trident axe that my second grade class made for me.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. Like there's a lot of these. I think it's an interesting touch, and that's what I'm trying to say. I think that's an interesting idea. If it has to be these like specific homemade, like cobbled together ceremonial weapons for sacrifice, sure, that's an interesting little thread. Never talked about, never expanded upon, but they just show up with these weird homemade weapons.
I think that this movie is good for me because it is only like an hour and 45 minutes, which was a nice refresher.
Yes.
And it didn't need to be any longer because
I totally agree.
I don't think any of the backstory matters. I don't think how they got there matters.
Thank you.
I don't think any of it matters. I think it's just like this is a isolated story that I'm glad I got to see.
I'm actually really glad you said that. And again, you're allowed to like this movie. People in the chat, people watching, if you like this movie, great. You should. You should like the things you like. I'm not telling you otherwise, but I am going to tell you what I actually thought about this movie. And with you saying that, the backstory. Okay, so the way this is framed, I have a question for you. Like literally in my notes is, how do you feel about the structure of this film? Because I don't feel like the flashbacks give us any real context to Eric and Andrew's relationship in a way that adds to the themes of this movie. It's just like, hey, we got to make this movie longer, so let's get into some of their backstory. I see why it's there. It feels like a botched coming out story.
A little bit, yes.
But those things don't have anything to do with the apocalyptic narrative at all.
No, they don't. And like, honestly, I had forgotten about him, so you brought it up. I forgot there was flashbacks at all.
Yeah.
What's up, Icky?
Exactly. My thoughts exactly.
But I don't know, man. I think they could have taken him out. I don't think it really added anything.
Would we have gotten more? Or are there things that we could have gotten more from their flashbacks?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think we could have gotten more from the flashbacks. I think we could have gotten more of like, not necessarily like just events that happened, but why they're important. But also, this whole thing is obviously it's an impossible decision.
Sure.
It didn't really feel impossible to me necessarily because like
you sacrifice anybody you're with.
Okay, cool.
It'd be me.
Are we done? Over?
If it was you and I in this cabin, I'd be like, I know it's me. Don't worry about it. Yeah. No.
Go ahead, let's get it over with. Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And
make this really easy.
No, but I what I meant by that is like we didn't get enough for me to be like, oh, they really love each other. Like I didn't feel that. Like obviously that's what they're going for, and obviously they are in love and stuff. But like, I didn't like. It was a bar fight that we saw. It was the adoption scene. It was like the parents being upset scene. Like, okay, cool, but like it wasn't long enough. You could have had each of those scenes being a minute longer each.
Well, and again, like a lot of problems I've had with other movies is like they didn't really show them connecting. They show them going through like major life events,
but
not how they necessarily connect or fit together as a couple. So I think that's, I think it was irrelevant. For me, this would have been a really great short film. This would have been a really great like 20-minute thriller because you could ramp up the tension and like speed up because there's no real ticking clock element. There's a nebulous one where the prophet people, Dave Bautista and his clan, they come through and they're like, hey, we should probably get this done like pretty soon. But I'm like, when?
Right.
And he's like, pretty soon. And so I'm like,
today.
Okay,
by today
probably. But then they go to sleep and they wake up and like, okay, like now we should do it pretty soon. And I'm like, but what does this mean? What does this mean? How fast does it need to be? So if there was like more of a time element, more of a ticking clock, it would have given us more tension for this entire thing. And like, as a short film, you could condense all this stuff, really ramp up the ticking clock element, but also give more ambiguity because in this, they have to make this last for an entire feature. It has to be an entire feature. So they give us flashbacks, they give us all the stuff, and without that ticking clock, it just feels so meandering and like we're going over the same things. Is this real? Is this not real? But I'm like, yes, it is. Obviously, they tell us that immediately, and it just happens. There's no nuance to it.
Yeah.
At all. And that's another major thing I have. There's zero nuance. This movie is exactly what you think it's going to be. Exactly.
Yeah, but it doesn't, like, it's one of those films that doesn't need nuance.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not.
This is a film about the apocalypse and love and sacrificing yourselves, and there doesn't have to be nuance to it. I disagree with that. I think that's a really bad take.
Nope.
Because if you don't have any nuance to this, any interesting, any little bit of mystery or like what anything means to these characters, then it is just so surface level. And that's exactly what this felt. This felt like a rough draft. This felt like a great idea executed very poorly.
Maybe.
You don't have to agree with me. I'm just saying this film demands nuance, and we get fucking none of it, dude. None of it. Yeah,
I really feel like M. Night Shyamalan is just kind of like, whatever. Here you go.
This is, by the way, this is based on this is not like an original thing. This is based on a book. And I haven't read the book, but I've looked up the things about the book. And some of these issues, rather, I saw the movie and then I looked up stuff about the book and how it works and how everything unravels. And there is more nuance to the book. It's there. There's more mystery to the book. There's more of a ticking clock element. And I'm like, oh, these are all things I have in my notes that I feel lack in this movie that feels too long, even though nothing fucking happens.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it felt too long. I think it
felt too long for me. It dragged on forever, dog.
I think it was just like over very quickly.
My thing is that it felt like it lasted so long for me because there's no new questions being asked. There's no interesting things being asked or like stakes being ramped up. It's just, hey, we're here. You two have to sacrifice each other. The world's going to end. Go.
Bye.
Yeah. And that's the only question we're given through like 65 or 70% of this movie. And nothing like evolves out of that. They try to do is this really happening? Is this not? But they don't. And sorry, so I'm not spoiling anything necessarily because the trailer tells you everything that we're talking about.
Yeah, it's true.
It really does. This film is deeply unsubtle. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Isaac's mom. I actually apologize. I'm not trying to ruin it for you. If you want to see this movie, you should go see this movie. I'm going to stop talking so much about the specifics.
Yes.
But
dick.
Fine. I am very passionate about how much I dislike this movie.
I like it. I think it's fine.
Fine.
It's not the greatest movie I've ever seen, and I wouldn't fight for it, but I think it's a fine movie. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
And to be honest, if I was like, let's say I was hanging out somewhere and someone's like, I haven't seen this. It's on streaming. Can we watch it? I'd be like, yeah.
Sure. I wouldn't. I would disagree. I would say, nope. No thanks. Let's watch whatever weird movie Dave got from the bargain bin at the gas.
Greystone Park.
Greystone Park, sure, that's what it's called.
Inspired by true events, a film by Sean Stone.
Stop that.
Who the fuck is Sean Stone?
Wait. No. Sorry, I was thinking of I was trying to think of what Oliver Stone's son's name is. But Oliver Stone's son is like a major QAnoner guy.
Oh no, for real?
Oh yeah, dude. He's lost his mind. But yeah, okay. I'm gonna stop talking about specifics. But without saying anything, this isn't the worst film I've ever seen. Do I recommend it? No,
I do.
Dave can recommend it all he wants. I think it is a waste of time. I don't think it has anything new to say about like the apocalyptic genre, about love, about any of the things that they're trying to get across. I don't think it has anything new to say. I think it approaches the whole thing in a very boring and straightforward way. I think the cinematography is all over the place. I think the best thing about it is the acting. And Dave Bautista is great, but I think you lose a lot of things in the approach to this film that I never want to see this again. Again, not because I hate it, but I think it is a waste of a movie.
I don't.
I think it is a waste of a concept.
Okay, yeah.
Absolutely.
I still think it's a good movie. It's a fine movie, and you should watch it if you plan on watching it.
If you want to watch this, go watch it. I'm not telling you not to watch it, except I'm telling you not to watch
Yeah,
it.
you're literally doing that.
If you care about your time and your sanity, then don't watch it. But if you're like, Dave, and you want to watch it, fine. Go watch it.
Hard disagree. I don't think you're gonna be upset about your time or your sanity. I think that you can go into this movie and you can realize, like I did very quickly, like, oh, it's just this. This is just the story. There's nothing else really that matters. It's just the story, and then you can enjoy it. But I think you were looking for too much stuff this movie was not willing to give you.
Nope, this movie set up a lot of things and a lot of major stuff that it never delivered on. I wasn't looking for anything. I was open to receive whatever.
Mhm.
It asked a lot of questions and gave us nothing, and the stakes didn't increase, and it just kind of happened and then ended. And by the way, again, not in spoiler territory here, but I called, there's a minor ass twist in this that I knew from the very beginning because it was so blatant, just the way they were talking. So I'll talk about that after stream.
Yeah, because I'm like, what?
Because I was like, this is it. I watched this with somebody, and I was like, this is my prediction. This is what it is. And I got a high five out of it. So
Interesting.
yeah.
I didn't even realize there was a twist, to be honest with you.
I wouldn't call it a capital T twist, but more of a revelation, a reveal, if you will.
Huh.
Anyway.
Well, either way. Oh, wait, no.
What?
No, it's spoiler territory. I don't want to get into it. This is a recommend for me. I think that you should go see it. I think it's a decent movie. It's yeah. Oh, what?
Not even chatting.
Way to fucking introduce that you're here on stream.
I swear to God, if I get another licorice one, I'm quitting.
Well, I got one for you, I think.
Oh, thank God.
So
It's Dave's pain. I already got put through pain with watching this movie.
yeah, I already did one for you, Clubby one.
Oh, it's like mint. It's like Pepto-Bismol flavored.
Great. Cheers.
It tastes like, oh God, do you remember those? Do you remember those like oh God, what are they? Not they're like the lifesavers, they're like the mint lifesaver things that like, your grandma has had in her purse for 15 years. Mm-hmm.
Yep, my dad used to go through those like they were fucking air.
Oh gosh, I remember these. Oh, this tastes just like my grandmother's purse. It's awful.
Not as bad as the fucking purple one. That shit tastes like, what were they called? They weren't called dots. It was it was different.
Talking about like now and laters and stuff.
No, it's like the sugar coated gummy. They look like drops.
Drop things, yeah.
Yeah, it was the fucking black ones or the purple ones that were really gross.
Yes. Why did every grandparent love those? Thank you, Jordan.
Great.
Wasn't as
Super
bad
happy
as
about
that,
that.
but still not fun.
I got beat up just as bad as Stallone did in that.
So yes, again, not a recommend for me for Knock at the Cabin. Recommend from Dave. So check it out if you want, or don't. But let us know what you think if you do check it out.
Yes. Tell Blake that he's wrong, and it's a fun movie, Blake.
Whatever. You can tell me I'm wrong all you want. I'm still going to disagree with you. Anyway, let us know in the Discord. But we're moving on to a good film, a film that I rather enjoyed, a film called Unbreakable from the year 2000. And man, this thing stars Bruce Willis. We got Robin Wright. It's a pretty great film that I'm glad I got to revisit. So, Jordan, if you'd like to tee up that trailer for us, I'd love to see it and also take a bathroom break. I've had a couple beers.
Oh, you dick.
I'll go really quick, though.
Hi. You're in the emergency room of the Philadelphia City Hospital. I'm gonna ask you some questions. Where were you sitting on the train?
Against the window.
In the
In the
train.
passenger car?
On the seat.
Yes.
Ooh, Crazy Harry, that's a good question. I don't think Blake is allowed to answer that
You're
because
certain
even thinking
you were in the
about
passenger car?
soda would give him a diabetic shock. But
Where
I
are
would
the other
say
passengers?
I'm gonna go with Cherry Coke. What's your opinion? John,
Your
I
train
never
derailed.
saw
Took a
Unbreakable
curve
until
too fast. The
literally
second
like 2
train
hours
collided
ago.
with yours after it derailed. The debris spread over 1 mile.
Blake, we got a question. I said that I don't think you're allowed to answer because it would put you into a diabetic shock.
Why are
But
you looking at me like that?
Favorites. Oh,
There are 2 reasons why I'm looking at you like this.
Cherry Coke for sure.
One, because it
Yeah,
seems
we're
you aren't the only
unanimous,
survivor
even.
of this train wreck.
Vanilla Coke has its place.
And
Don't
2,
you?
yes, I agree. I agree with
you
Blake.
don't have a scratch
Yeah.
on you.
Cherry's good.
This is a
I
really
know
slow
what's going
trailer.
through your mind right now. You're searching for meaning in all of this.
I agree with you.
Know one thing.
Gin and vanilla Coke?
131 people died so you could
Gin and
finally
vanilla
understand the destiny for which you were born. Are you ready for the truth?
Oh my god, get to it. This is such a long trailer. I mean,
make it keep going so I have time to make a gin and tonic. Actually,
Oh.
it's really nice.
Okay, so you had one movie who gave away its whole movie for the trailer, and one that's like, there were people in this.
that's exactly what I literally was like, wait, what? Because that's why I was saying it's such a long trailer. I was like, they still haven't gotten to anything yet. And then all of a sudden it's like credits of the trailer. I'm like, huh?
Both of these are bad trailers.
It was awful. What the fuck just happened?
It sets up the premise, kind of, that Bruce Willis's character, he was in the horrible train accident where he's the sole survivor. There's like 100+ people who died, and he came out unscathed. And so now, at the what would you say? At the suggestion of a man named Elijah, he has to uncover why he has never really been sick. He's never really been injured. All these questions that start arising from his past that Elijah brings up. And so then we get into the story, which is essentially a superhero origin story.
Yes, it is. It very much is. And I was like, oh, it's weird that Blake likes this then because he's so anti-superhero movies.
But you say that, Dave. You say that I'm anti-superhero, like those superheroes, I hate it. It's dumb, I hate it. No, give me a good one. Give me something with some substance, and I think this delivers on that. I'm not anti-hero. If I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
Kick-Ass is a pretty good one too.
Kick-Ass is a great movie, but essentially we're trying to figure out what's going on with Bruce Willis's character David, and we do get some answers out of this movie. Yes,
we do. He is literally unbreakable. He's never been sick. He has never been injured. He somehow did not pass that gene on to his son, which is disappointing, but whatever.
I don't know if it's a superhero gene necessarily, but we don't really get into it.
I'm just saying it would make sense. His marriage is on the rocks because he's such a sad boy because he doesn't realize that he's a superhero yet.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more we can get into, but basically this Elijah guy played by Samuel fucking Jackson, which again, this is his full legal name.
Yes.
Elijah is like trying to convince him like, hey, you're a superhero.
Yeah.
You're a superhero. You have all these powers, or at least one. And we also find out that he's insanely strong. He's able to bench press over 350 pounds relatively easily.
It's true. There's a lot that unravels in this movie. And so this is your first time seeing this movie, isn't it, Dave?
It sure is, yes.
Man, I've loved this movie since I first saw it when I was a kid, and I haven't probably seen it since then, to be completely honest.
Really?
So I was excited to revisit it. So what were some of your, what was your first impression of this movie?
John, that's a good point. That's what I'm saying. My first impression of this movie was it was good. I liked it. I thought it was very cool. And it was like it had this almost thriller-esque vibe to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm not going to give you the David Meter score for Knock at the Cabin because different circumstances, but seeing
Wait,
as
how different circumstances?
well, because it was my normal, like, oh, I watch this at the end of the night and I'm usually more tired by then, so it's easier for me to just hop on my phone. But I just watched.
So your Dave-O-Meter score for a movie you liked was still super, super high, and you don't want to admit it?
So the David Meter score for this one.
you son of a bitch.
The David Meter score for this one was literally 0. I did not get on my phone at all for this movie because
I praise
it hooked me in immediately, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, dude, for sure. I agree with you also, John. I wish there's some mutant DNA passed on to me, but the kind that gave me diabetes and not the kind that made me superhero.
Yes, your arch villain is glucose. So.
Glucose and pasta.
That's because those carbohydrates become glucose. Anyway, so
exactly. Thank you, Dave. I know.
Telling you about your own disease.
Yeah. Dave just mansplained to me my own disease.
Like the way that diabetes works.
Oh man, so this again, I there's a lot of interesting stuff, and I was really excited to revisit this movie. But to your point, this movie has a very specific tone. I didn't remember pretty much most of this movie when I was watching it, and there's like a couple scenes that I remember, but this tone stuck with me. The feeling of this movie, it felt like really dark and somber, and it kind of had this like sad feeling to me when I was a kid, but it was like so compelling and I loved it. And I didn't know how to articulate that as a child. And I'm watching this movie now and I'm like, this is like really sad and quiet.
It's true.
My childhood beliefs are reaffirmed.
It was cool though. Like it was very crazy.
No,
I think
absolutely.
what was cool, aside from the fact that he, can't get injured, but can still die.
Yeah. Full spoilers, by the way, for a 23-year-old
movie. Yeah. But I liked how he also had the power of touching people and knowing what they did wrong.
Yeah, there's so, like I said, there's so many interesting things because this feels like an indie movie. And actually, the first thing I really want to ask you, this is a $70 million movie, by the way. Yes. And it's shot like an indie drama, which is the movie it is, to be very clear. It feels like that. Does this feel like the same director? I watched Unbreakable and then I watched Knock at the Cabin. Does this feel even close to like the same director?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. No. It's too. I'm gonna retract. Yes, because it feels like Knock at the Cabin is the M. Night Shyamalan that just like whatever.
That gave up and stopped giving a shit and stopped looking at his dailies and stopped showing up to the office and said, just cut it. It'll be fine, I'm sure.
That's what I'm saying. I really think that he just kind of like he's burnt himself out somehow.
And stop making movies. I disagree with you. I disagree with you because I think he actually does care. I do. I just think he was back then. You're coming up. You're surrounded by people. You're surrounded by a lot of studio notes. You are trying to learn. You're trying to prove yourself. So you show your movie to a ton of people. You show your scripts to a lot of people. John also on the Discord pointed out to us that M. Night Shyamalan, which I do recall some of these stories, he was one of the most in-demand scriptwriters for a long time. With like people like Shane Black and stuff like that. And the man can write a great script. And what it takes to write a great script, in my opinion, is humility and a sense of self-awareness. When you start sniffing your own farts, it's not going to work out for you. Like when you start believing everything that you write down is gold, you stop being objective. You stop trying to make good art and you start servicing your own ego. And after a couple of these films that everybody's talking about M. Night Shyamalan, I mean, the man was untouchable, unbreakable.
I was going to say,
we're coming back to it. But after a while, and there's been tons of behind the scenes stories of M. Night Shyamalan's just massive ego just
Oh
driving
yeah.
to, you know, these extreme lengths and all these things. And of course, when you are making the studio millions and millions of dollars, you don't have to take their notes.
No.
You should take notes. Not that I'm saying every studio has great notes.
Yeah.
I can confirm that myself personally, but things are worth rewriting. There should be second drafts of things.
Yeah.
And I think when you don't have to take notes anymore, then I think you lose something quintessential in your ability to create compelling material. Here, this feels like this is like the most restrained directing I've ever seen from M. Night Shyamalan. Like, there's such an interesting quality to the direction of this. Lots of long takes.
Lots of long takes, yes.
But for a reason.
What's the reason?
For the drive of the scene. So specifically, let me give you a perfect example.
Yes, please.
The opening scene where we meet David. He's on the train, which is about to crash. Major spoiler. But the
It crashes?
It crashed. I'm sorry, Dave. Yeah, I hate to ruin this movie that you just saw.
I just saw 2.5 hours ago.
But the scene where we get so much out of this. This is a very show don't tell kind of movie and scene. So David, he's on a train, played by Bruce Willis. He's talking to this woman who sits down next to him. We see he is like taking off his wedding ring. So things are kind of on the rocks. We see that, but in one shot from the seats in front of him, you know, there's like the little separation between the seats in front of you. Can see you. We see the camera glide back and forth, like dolly back and forth between the woman he's talking to and him. And so we just get to see their side. We don't get to see the reaction. There's no cuts. And it's very voyeuristic. It's very like, hey, we're going to take a peek into this guy's life and just let these things play out in front of us, as opposed to cutting into reactions of things. We just get to see it in one smooth, beautiful take, and these great performances, and like the nuance, and her thinking he's trying to hit on her, and he's like, no, you got the wrong idea. She's like, I think I'm gonna find another seat. It's very tense, and we see it all in one shot. And because there's no cuts, and because that little subtle moves of camera stuff, and then we pan down, we see him put his ring back on, those long takes, those things help tell us the story and what David is and who David is immediately. Without having to like give us a text scroll. David was a man who was his life's on the rocks, but he's trying to, you know, it's like we don't need any of that. We get it all from that one single shot, that one scene with one.
I agree with you. I thought that was a really cool opening sequence. And it does tell a lot about his character. I don't know how I feel. Just now that I'm thinking about it, I remember thinking this in the moment. I don't know how I feel about M. Night Shyamalan. M. Night Shyamalan saying, like, essentially saying to us, the viewer, like, well, it's because the little girl was watching.
Yeah, I don't think that was necessary because, you're right. It is revealed that it was like a little girl watching through the seats. I get why it's in there. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it added to anything. But those are like little things that, like, kind of a weird choice, but didn't really bother me at all. I don't know. It's a very, very interesting film that unravels, and there's not a whole lot of dialogue. Bruce Willis's performance in this is amazing.
Very, very, very good.
He's the quietest I've ever seen the man.
And there's a lot of subtleties and that we do get to see in his performance and stuff. And you know, when he is, I think that scene when he reveals to his son, like, hey, you were right.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was a fantastic scene, how he's he's able to, like, I don't think I've ever seen Bruce Willis like well up and me believe it until that.
Dude, there's so many of these scenes. So to be clear, what you're referencing, if you haven't seen the movie, essentially Bruce Willis is discovering all these things about him, spurred on by Samuel L. Jackson's character Elijah, that like he might be like a superhero essentially. And he's like, no, this is crazy. And these little things kind of start happening. And and he's learning these things about himself, and he's developing his skills essentially. But none of this is really said so much as experienced by us as a viewer. We get to experience these things as David does. And so he goes on to like save a family, save these kids from this guy. And that story is in the paper, and his son has always believed in him, that he was like this super special guy, or this like superhero guy. He doesn't want it. David, Bruce Willis's character, doesn't want to tell his wife, but his son, he wants to tell his son essentially that like, you were right, thanks for believing in me. And just has it's that super quiet scene. He just slides the newspaper over to him with the story, and the kid kind of reads it and looks up, and he's like, you were right.
Yep.
And I'm about to cry.
The kid's performance is really good too.
Great child performance. And to my point about direction, this scene is so simple, but it doesn't need anything else. There's a lot of this movie where it's just very simple, but that's all you need from it.
That's crazy, John. I didn't know that at all. Of course I didn't fucking know that.
Oh yeah, because this is the second installment of the Shyamalan Willis matchup. Yes. Because listen, The Sixth Sense was impeccably directed, and this has a lot of those same kind of things. Like the direction was really on point, and we still get our M. Night Shyamalan cameo.
Yes, we do. This time it wasn't a major key character, which I liked.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. He was a drug dealer. And he had even less of a cameo in Knock at the Cabin. We didn't talk about it, but he was like an on-camera chef guy in one. I
missed it.
I didn't. I was like, there he is. Got him.
I was looking for him too. I missed it.
When they first in Knock at the Cabin, when they first turn on the TV to see the news, there's like a cooking show on TV, and there's
that's right.
Whipping some eggs.
That's right.
I was like, there he is. There he is.
There's Mr. Knight.
But here he's just a run-of-the-mill drug dealer in a stadium.
In a blazer. No windbreaker. That's
no windbreaker for sure. So what are some other things you really liked about this film that stuck out for you?
I mean, there's a lot. I liked how he would go into public places and just stand there and just wait for someone to touch him or like, and by that I mean just like bump into him or whatever. Yeah. So he would like do that like thing where he's like looking into their past or whatever. Yeah. I like that. Mm-hmm. I like how he was like, I guess I'll be a superhero.
He's like, I guess if the weird rain poncho fits, then
wear it.
I'll wear it and save it.
If the weird rain poncho fits, almost drown in it.
That's very true. It is set up that, like most superheroes, there is a weakness. David has a weakness.
Oh, wait a minute.
What?
I just realized.
What?
This is what was the weakness in Signs?
What?
The weakness of the aliens in Signs is water, and the weakness of of Dunn in this was fucking water. It's like,
no, 100%. I thought that it's funny you say that because I have that later. Well, it's like he was writing Signs. He's like, all right, and the aliens, their weakness, water. Fine.
I think he did the same thing for this. So he's like, okay, so he can't get hurt, but he's got to have a weakness. So maybe it's. And he looked over and he's like, oh, maybe it's
the sun glints off his glass. He goes, that's it. A sign from God.
Yes, that's exactly how it happened.
But the one in Signs is less motivated than this. There's a backstory that David almost drowned as a child.
Yeah.
And that is why they think that water is his weakness. By the way, this scene, so David Dunn, he saves these children from this murder, which I also have something to say about in a minute. He gets pushed off of a balcony into a pool. The pool's covered by like one of those like tarp things. And he's like sinking into the pool and the tarp's coming around him. That's an easy way to drown. I used to be terrified. I mean, I guess I'm still scared of drowning. It's like the worst way to go, in my opinion. And so I remember this this is one of the scenes I remembered as a child because it was just haunting and scary. And David Dunn is like, oh no, I do one superhero thing and I get pushed into a fucking pool. Damn it.
I quit. This is too much work already.
But luckily, he saved the kids first, and they just stuck a rake in or something and
pulled them out.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is that you said that it's drowning is like the worst way to go. I don't know if I've ever told you this story. I almost drowned as a kid.
Me too.
And I don't have that fear at all because I don't remember it. But
I'm just scared of a lot of things.
Well, yeah, that's true. But no, apparently it was on a family vacation. One of my uncles, he likes to fish every time he goes on vacation, just from the beach.
Yeah.
And one time he caught a stingray.
Oh wow!
And I remember the stingray, but I don't remember what happened before the stingray. But my aunt tells me this story all the time. She was everybody came over to see the stingray that he caught and killed or whatever, and she's like, oh, David really loved this. So she looks around and she's like, wait, where is he? So she goes and she searches the whole house, and she goes in from the first floor and goes upstairs, doesn't find me upstairs, and she walks on the balcony. Okay, maybe I'll be able to see him from over here. And then she sees my little hat that I was wearing just floating on the top of the pool, and she looks down and I'm at the bottom of it, and she just dove over the fucking balcony into the pool and saved my life.
Oh my god! Have you tried lifting 350 pounds lately?
I'm unbreakable!
Dave is officially unbreakable. All right, somebody hit him in the head with a hammer or something.
Wait, hang on a second.
Hurt Dave.
No. I don't think we're getting a little... We're getting out of hand here. What's up, Adam? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, buddy. Nice to see you. Hurt Dave. So anyway, we're trying to make sure Dave is a superhero. I'm going to be in town tomorrow night, early Thursday morning. First thing I'm doing, getting an Uber to Dave's house. Going to break his legs. But if they don't break, you're a superhero. If they are, that sucks.
Well, I have broken my pinky.
We could do better.
And my shoulder.
I can do better.
With your little puny arms. You think you're gonna hurt me with your little puny arms?
Dave's official weakness is a hammer to the head. Who would have known? It's just
I'm just on the ground like. You're like, well, found his weakness.
A drill press to the cranium is Dave's weakness. He would have known.
Oh my god!
Very quickly.
That took a weird turn.
So there's a lot of really, really, really intense scenes. Thanks, First Press Games. Dave fits in that category. So there's a lot of very intense, dramatic scenes in this film.
Yes.
And there's the classic Chekhov's gun setup in this movie. And for anybody who doesn't know, the Chekhov's gun trope essentially is the fact that in storytelling, if you set up that there's a gun or a weapon or something, an object that may seem out of place or something, if you introduce that, you have to then use that later in the story for some larger narrative reason. In this case, it's a literal gun.
It's a literal gun. And I totally knew what that was before you explained it.
Yeah. No, you definitely did. So he takes the gun out. He's looking at his things because he realizes I've never really been sick. I've never taken any sick days. I've never had any issues. So he's looking at his records, but he pulls a gun out of his closet, and I'm like, the person I was watching this movie with, I was like, hello, Chekhov's gun. anybody on Chekhov's gun. And sure enough, the gun comes back into play. So David's son, who starts to believe that, maybe he is a superhero.
Yes.
He's, as a child, you're like, okay, my dad's a superhero. Let's shoot him. Could probably just try to fire an actual gun at him.
Why not? Fuck it.
This scene made me actually really made me emotional. So I was on the edge of my seat. So the scene goes this way. David and his wife are having a conversation, and it's so subtle the way they do it. They're having conversation in the kitchen and stuff. And one of them turns and goes, what's the son's name? I don't remember. They say, son's name. Put that put it down. And the camera goes over, and the kid is holding a gun, pointing a gun at David. And I'm like, I have goosebumps just talking about it right now. And they have to convince this kid to not shoot his father. And his son's like, no, he's not going to be hurt. I know he's not going to be hurt. And they have to, it's so intense. They have to talk this kid out of firing a gun at his own father. And it's like all done in like one take as well. It's very intense. It's such a great scene. It's so effective. And it's a lot. It was a lot.
And the son was right.
He did, to be clear, he didn't fire the gun.
No, but he still was right.
But he was right.
He could have.
Okay, so what happens though? He fires that gun. Let's play the scenario out. He fires the gun. It bounces off of David back into him.
No.
It like ricochets around the kitchen.
No. He's not made of like steel.
No, I'm pretty sure he's made of steel. So it hits him. Maybe it hits him on the right.
It just was it literally it would just do this.
Okay, maybe it hits the gas line and it slowly leaks gas into the apartment. Then we have a Fight Club situation where everybody's at school one day because everybody goes to school, and the pilot light kicks on and the whole house explodes. Unbreakable 2.
Yep.
A horrible gas leak.
Oh my God.
But that is a very there's a lot of like these little scenes like that that are super, super effective. And that stick with you, I think.
Yes. Can we get into dislikes?
Oh, sure.
I just like I have one that I've been killing me.
I have just a couple, and I could talk about this movie forever in the positive. So yes, you're right. Keep me on track, Dave. Let's get into the dislikes.
Come on, Blake. Dislikes time.
Yeah.
So I only have one, so I'll go first.
Yeah.
And then I will let you go ahead and ramble on again, and I'll pretend like I'm listening like I usually do.
Dude, I'm sorry.
I mean, listen like I usually do.
I'm sorry to our viewing audience. I have a lot of thoughts in these movies.
Oh, dude, I'm fucking with you. Absolutely. I don't actually mean that.
But seriously, tell me to shut up.
Do I have to even say it? Or
no, just give me that look. Text me on the side. Shut up.
So the thing I disliked about this movie is the only thing I disliked truly.
Yeah.
Was the fact that they played it as if Mr. Price, the reveal that Mr. Glass, the reveal of him being the villain, they made it seem like this like, see, he's a villain. And I'm like, yeah, no fucking shit.
Right. I get it. So we barely even touched on Elijah. Essentially, he starts out as a friend of David. He's the one who turns him on to being like, hey, you could be a superhero. And Elijah has this really great backstory. He has this this disease rather, where his low bone density. So it's essentially like his bones are made of glass. He can shatter at any instance of like harm or whatever. He can easily break his bones. And so his mother introduced him to comic books really early in his life. And so he became obsessed with them. And now as an adult, he sells comic book art and things in like an art gallery. Oh, there's so much to this movie, Dave. And he's a really great character because he's very sympathetic. He is the absolute opposite of David. And his mother is really, I love that backstory, by the way. I think it's really heartwarming.
I also, however, think it's a little stereotypical and I hate it a little bit.
I understand that.
I want to explain.
Please do. Yep.
So it's because he, obviously he has a very, unique story in the sense that he's the literal opposite of Unbreakable. He is always breakable. He is just breakable all the time. Super breakable. But he essentially becomes a supervillain because he got picked on.
Yeah. I don't know if it's so much that he got picked on. It's that he feels less than. He feels like he can't do the things that normal
because he got picked on.
But also because of his disease and because he's scared of like moving too fast and falling and breaking his bones. And they set that up kind of with his mom. She's like, you have to do something. Yes, kids pick on him, but he's like, I'm scared. I'm going to fall. I'm going to break all of my bones. And she encouraged him to go outside. So I think it is a combo. But yeah, a bit on the cliche side. But I think the execution of that story and the subtlety stuff, I think helps it along. If this was This was like, dang it, all these kids are making fun of me. I'm mad. And then they cut
Right.
to the adult, like, I'd be like, hey, now. But I think it's well done. But I understand that point.
Also, to me, it was obvious the entire movie. It was obvious that he was the villain. It was absolutely blatantly obvious.
Yeah, that's actually a good point because again, I'd seen this and I knew he was the villain, but honestly, I forgot he was the one behind all these horrible accidents because they set up like, hey, there's been these horrible fires and all these things going on, David. Elijah saying this to David. He's like, and there's been no survivors. And we find out later all those things he referenced were caused by him.
Yes,
which
is funny because as I was watching it, I think at some point, because I know he references it at least twice, right?
Yeah,
all this stuff. I forget if it was the first or second time that Price referenced all the stuff that happened. There was a twinge of like, did he do all that? Because at this point, I already know he's the villain in my head. But then that immediately went away because the rest of the movie like re-engaged my brain. So
no, that's fair. I didn't even question myself. I forgot about that aspect of this film, so I wasn't even thinking of that. How did you feel about the ending? Because the ending is this: David discovers, Elijah tells David, "Hey, I discovered you, and the fact that you're a superhero." I'm the one who like did all these awful things to try to find you. I caused the train crash that you were in. I caused like this fire and all these things. He has the articles written out and the little bomb pieces and stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And the David turns around to walk out and goes, David told authorities. And I was like, oh.
that was kind of lame.
I don't think it was lame necessarily, but my thing is I wanted more. It felt a little abrupt. I understand why it ended because we're done with the narrative. David is a superhero and Elijah is the bad guy.
Yes.
We get it. So we get what we came to the movie for. All the thematic things are all wrapped up and we're done. But I was so engaged by this movie, I wanted more.
Yeah, I did want more. Excuse me. God damn. It's not that I wanted more. I think the film could have given us more. I was okay with the way it ended in terms of, or in the length of the movie, but I do think it was kind of like I really think that it ended and Midnight Shyamalan was like right and someone's like, well, what happens after? He's like there,
David Dunn reported Elijah to the authorities. I don't know, just have some text show up on screen. Fuck it, we're done.
Right. Adam, yes, twice. You missed it.
You missed a couple Necco blowouts here. I got a licorice one and then a grandma's mint one. And still remember her purse. The bottom of it tasted.
Yeah, great.
It was brutal. So it's not necessarily a dislike, but I did want more. But the other, and this is a little bit nitpicky, a like into a dislike is I like the use of color in this film. I think there is a really nice subtle use of color. That was also a thing in The Sixth Sense. Elijah Price is represented by purple, the color purple, and all these things. And the people in the train station that he's like connecting with and seeing their pasts and their crimes and stuff are all like their costumes are bright.
Yes, I noticed that for sure.
He bumps into one guy who ends up being a murderer who's taken over this house. He bumps into this man who's in an orange jumpsuit, and what I thought we were watching, since he was in an orange jumpsuit, I thought he was like on work release from like prison.
That's what I thought too. Yeah. And
so he's in just an orange like worker suit, and I was like, "Oh, he killed somebody." And then he starts following him, and I'm like, "Well, he already killed somebody. He's on work release, dude. You gonna follow?" And it turns out, I guess, the people who were cleaning the station and picking up the trash from this like train station just wear orange jumpsuits like they're in prison. And so I get the idea behind the color thing. And then he goes on to save the family, or rather save the two kids.
Yeah.
And stuff. But my thing was like, why would you put him in an orange jumpsuit? Like,
I don't know.
That seemed a little confusing and short-sighted, but whatever. That's so nitpicky. I really like this film. Is this a recommend for you, Dave?
Absolutely, it's a recommend for me. I thought it was really good. and I think you should watch it for sure.
Yep, this is a big recommend for me, and I guess my like 10, 11-year-old self had good taste as well, because no, I didn't. Let's be clear, I didn't.
Come on now.
But I did love this movie, and I know now why, more specifically, why this movie has stuck with me for so long, and I'm glad we really got to revisit this thing, because boy, I loved it, and I think anybody should see it. It's great acting, directing, cinematography. It's the works, man. This is also one of Quentin Tarantino's favorite films.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. According to IMDb trivia, so whatever.
I was going to say, you talked to Quentin earlier and asked him.
But yeah, I talked to my boy Quentin. We're looking through feet pictures for a little while. We transitioned to favorite movies. Lots involving feet, but we came up with this one. So
feet?
Quentin Tarantino's into feet.
Feet?
Come on, it's the thing. Quentin Tarantino is into feet. The man likes feet.
First press feet. Come on, Chloe Wan. Don't bring that up. I'm getting war flashbacks.
Join our only feet. Subscribe for $5 a month and you'll see my feet. Hey, my big toenail's growing back. So like it's way less gross than it used to be.
Oh, anyway. Yeah. I forgot that was a thing.
It's pretty much fully grown back now. But anyway, I have horrible medical conditions.
Oh God.
So Dave, what do we got going on next year?
Okay, we have our season 3 premiere on Monday.
Yes,
it is our first episode back of a full back to the regular rules episode.
Yes.
We had 3 bonus episodes. We had Christmas, my birthday, and Valentine's Day. In case you missed those, go back and listen. They are fantastic. But our first episode back is psychological thrillers.
Yes, we are talking about Black Swan, starring Natalie Portman from 2010, I believe, or 2011. I can't remember off the top of my head. But we're also talking about that versus Fight Club from 1999. Two psychological thrillers that definitely had an impact on Dave and I. And we might be the same person. I'm not sure yet. I could be streaming to myself. I need more Neckos.
No, don't say that. I don't want more Neckos. Not that we're the same person.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. We're totally fine.
Yes.
So we have that going on. And next Sunday, if you guys watch the Oscars and you want to watch it with people and not alone, you can watch it with us. We're going to be here on Twitch watching the show live, reacting, having some drinks, talking with you guys. So come stop by, say hey. We're going to do it anyway, even if nobody shows up, because we have no other ways to express ourselves. So we're just trying to do our thing.
It's true. And also, give us a follow on here. Subscribe if you want to help us out. Yes. Anything counts. Tell your friends. Come hang out with us. We're here every Tuesday talking about movie stuffs. And here in a few weeks, I think we're going to get back into movie night Sundays.
Yes, we're going to be doing some public domain movie nights, talking about a bunch of weird things that are free to watch.
Yes.
That will not get us sued.
And have so far been mind-breaking at how weird they are.
That's the one. There's some really strange stuff. So our mod wants us to be done. So we're going to wrap this up. But thank you, everybody, for showing up. Once again, we're doing this because of you. So thank you. He doesn't want to participate in movie night.
Too bad.
But no, thank you guys. Seriously, we can't do this without you all. And we have a good time doing this every week. Again, the podcast, which is a show a little more structured than this, coming out for season 3 on Monday. Thank you. Give us a follow here for free. You can also subscribe to us for free if you have an Amazon account here on Twitch. Yes. If not, that's fine too, because we're going to do this anyway.
We're going to be here.
Yeah. So whatever. If you want to support us, cool. If not, we don't care. We still love you and we appreciate you. And we will see you all on Sunday for the Oscars. Get your predictions in and we'll catch you then.
Adios.
Bye.
Gone.
Because like if you look at it, it's like right here, like it's like right here,
Mhm.
it pops right off, dude. And so when I dropped on the thing, it turned black.
Yeah, it's
Black
great.
stuff. His like all the black stuff came out. So like now it started here, and you can see like all the new growth, and it's coming all the way back here on both sides too. I thought this nail was done for, dog. I thought it was nail free, buddy, for like the rest of my life, and it's coming back, dude. Check it out. It's like
That's great.
black now. It's not even like gross. It stopped.
Great. It's good for you.
Last week it stopped smelling, so we're all good. It's dude, I'm so happy with it.